get to it. Better down here. Here, whatever. Today, the last couple of day project here, I found a few cracks in my snow plow, so I guess I decided to tear the whole thing apart. So we're going to kind of refurbish this 8.5 foot Hiniker. There she is. There's a channel that runs along the back here, big nice heavy piece of metal or whatever. I assume these rot out quite often. It's a great place to track stuff. So this piece has actually been replaced once before, so I cut the whole thing off right up against the channel here. It went pretty well with the plasma cutter. I was able to set the plasma at like a 45-degree angle the whole way. Just snip the whole weld off and everything, and it left metal. Good metal for me everywhere, except there's just a couple spots where I effed up, but we can fix that. And then as you'll see here, this part, previously stated I don't mind small holes in the plow, but dropped this thing on the ground after I took it off the weld bit, because there's just on the back, there's two places where pivot pins are, and I noticed those are cracked, so that's why I took it off. Well then, put it up on the table here, managed to drop it off, and we lost a whole bunch of this action. Right here, this kind of crumbled off, and I had a hole big enough to throw a cat through. So instead of trying to patch 5 holes, it's just as easy to get this taken care of or whatever. So all we'll have to do is just weld each brace. We'll stitch weld this thing the whole way. It'll be not a continuous weld, but it'll be a continuous weld, but we won't weld it. That's how you weld more the shit out of something. But yeah, we'll go see the boys in Rushford. We'll get a template made, and we'll get that to them and see if they can get something bent up for us. So let's get to making it. So I left this portion because this is good metal yet. There's a little bit of pitting in it, but for the most part, this is still really good steel. It's really just the face of it. It'll paint up like shit, you know. It'll have like that guy who had acne way too bad in high school or whatever, and he's got a crater face. So that's what's going on here or whatever. But you know, nothing wrong with that. You're still a lovable person. So cardboard, Sharpie marker. So what we'll do is we'll put this. I know that this is straight up here, so I really only care about the arc of the curve here. So we'll put this right at the bottom. There we go. Go. There we go. And we end up with this. If you wanted to, you could draw a little penis head on here. A quality dick pic. So yeah, we'll take that to them. See if they can't break the sheet metal a little bit for me. If they can't, whatever, we'll just pitch that sucker down as hard as we can and make it conform. But ideally, we can get they'll make bends like every inch, every 2 inches, something like that, and make it curve along here or whatever. And those bends will actually be putting extra strength into the panel, so that'll be nice. So we just got to clean up a few spots here. There's a weld here that we'll have to grind off with a little bit of material. Just got to get cleaned up here. I'm not going to have them make a rounded edge. That doesn't just seem right, but that doesn't seem like it worked. But we'll have them make a square edge. So let's go grab a full case of tuna fish, some mayonnaise, celery, onions, and we'll go see if we can't trade them some sandwich ingredients for a piece of metal. That'll work. That'll work. Alright, so we got the strip for the bottom here. We got the top bent up, which the fellas did. A pretty solid job. A little grinding and a little sucking it in, and we'll just, like I said, we're just gonna butt weld that thing. Well, it's not technically a butt weld because we're gonna let it overlap, but looking stout. Satisfied with how this fits up here. Like I said, we'll just fill this in with a little bit of weld, and I think this is just going to stay like that, and maybe we'll thing more anyway, so I don't think it's that big of a deal. So we're gonna pinch this sucker into place. See how she looks with a few tacks on it. Tacked up the side rails here, so we'll flip it over, and actually I think we'll start doing the full welds on the back side first, and then we'll finish this seam off last. I'm just gonna make the metal bend to my will and the torches. So we're just making sure that this strip is nice and square on here where it needs to be. So we'll stitch the top pretty good, and then we'll just clamp this down, bend it around. As we hammer the snow, this is gonna start to lay out, stretch around a little bit as we like. So yeah, we get this full stitch on there. I bounce back and forth trying not to work it like it matters, but you know, you never know if you can get the plow out of it. There's a seam here, and it just kind of ground down. Like I said, it's not gonna matter. So it just matters now. You know, you get that first time, it's like all painted up, and yeah, that's sweet. And then the first fucking thing you do is run it into a rock. You know, that's how it works. So, all right, get to these here. I noticed the seam running along the back there where the old metal got cut off, and there was a couple little gaps, so screw it, we just fill the whole thing up. Now we're ready to grind it, mate. party, huh? All right, enjoy the show. I agree. Red? Yeah. Let's do it. Alright, how'd I do, Randers?
I think you missed a spot.
Well, the first coat's just kind of a tack light coat. After this, we'll hammer some heavy coats on there. How's that sound?
Yeah.
Alright. Keep this. Paint's had a chance to dry. Got in here a couple of days with the, heat warm. We try to keep it above about 60 in here. Make sure that this paint clears really nice for us. Oh, it's just spray paint, but trying to give it its best chance. Here's framework. Just got this back from the machine shop. I had the center pin here hogged out to 7/8 from 3/4. It was followed and cleaned up really well to 7/8, which is awesome. Same thing with the ends of the snow plow cylinders. Those are walling out, both the steel here and the ends there. There's the old plow. So we had that cleaned up to 7/8 as well. Now we just have the pins back in. One of the old eBays. Got some details for it. Not exactly what I would want it. They were harder to find than expected. I could have had my sticker guys make some, I suppose, but these were cheap. They got here fast, so that's gotta get worn off. They go kind of flat, so I guess it really doesn't matter, does it? So let's get putting this thing together. Got the cold cutting edge bolted on there. This was the cutting edge that was on it before. I just flipped it. The bolt pattern lined up perfectly to flip it top to bottom. What I do for cutting edges is I actually get, I do believe this was 8-inch, 8-inch by half steel. And then I just drill the pattern directly down the middle, put it on, woggle it up to the frog there, flip it over, wear that one out. And then when you get your next one, you take this old cutting edge, you line it up where you want it, and you tack weld it to the new one, and then you have a perfect template where to drill your holes. Which is what I do, drill the holes out, put new bolts in it, and then you take the cutting edge, you drop it on the floor, typically the tack welds break, throw it on the plow, and away you go. Pivot pins here, those all have small roll pins, so you saw me put the roll pins back in those. Bolt the springs back in for the spring action. Super sweet. Next, I just gotta drill out a couple of holes real quick. Actually, I gotta hog them out, and then we'll mount this to the front of the truck. That's some snow, bro. PPW Snow Plow Oil, part number U0001. Says it's for Meyer 15734 Western 49311 Fisher 28531. I don't know if it's specifically for Hiniker, but this is what I run. I've been running it for like 10 years, zero issues. It's blue, it's pretty. Well, it's going to wrap up our Hiniker repair restoration project. I think it turned out pretty good, if I do say so myself. Project started out with just simply getting the plow troubleshot and done. You can see that video. It's a different video, but then I noticed some cracks at the hinges down here, these small hinges, welded those up. We're this far from a couple of rust holes, a little bigger than I was comfortable with. Cut that off. In retrospect, I would not have half scun the plow. In retrospect, I should have cut off the whole face. It's really not that hard, you just cut the welds. And I should have had him roll me a whole piece. Because I mean, I had to do a stitch weld all the way along the front twice. 3 times pretty much if you count behind the cutting edge there. So in retrospect, I would have cut off the whole thing. And then just got the framework blasted and welded right back to that. So yeah, we got new plow face, half of it at least. We got new stickers for it. The stickers I ordered off eBay. They're kind of cheesy, they're not great. They work, they get the job done. Probably going to come off after the first year anyway, so maybe it doesn't matter. I had the center pin bored from 3/4 out to 7/8. There's plenty of meat in that center pin that it can take that. Tighten this thing right up, which I like. The ends of the cylinders were walled a little bit, so I had those finished up to 7/8, which didn't take a whole lot because they were pretty low. The same thing with the mounting holes. On the plow portion where the cylinders go through, I bored those up to 7/8. The pins that are where the cylinder portion, not the stem, but the cylinder sleeve itself, those I think are naturally all wrong. I think they're meant to so that they can have some flux. So we left those at 3/4. There'll be a little slot there, but you could mostly play out of the other places. New tape, new stickers, that's what we do. Everything with grade 8 hardware, pins went out, we put bolts back in. The cutting edge is just flipped. It's the first cutting edge we put on there, just flip it over. Let's talk about the refurbishment here cost me. Got my calculator out. Let's see, sandblasting was $75. I do believe I spent $75 on paint too, because that shit ain't cheap. I put like 5 coats. No, it was 25. Let's call it $50. Call it $50. That's a little more accurate. $50 in paint. The sticker kit was like $15. They charged me $45 to drill those holes out. They had to put it on a nail and use a rotor drill bit just wasn't working. New bolts. It's all grade 8. The new bolts were let's call it $40. They're expensive, they're big 7/8 bolts, locking nuts, so on and so forth. These are old, these are already on here. Locking nuts there, random hardware. Couple of old pins, those are and stock. I put new nuts on the backside, I was able to reuse the bolts. New nuts on the backside of the cutting edge. So I'm at $225, so let's call it another $25 worth of miscellaneous. So for $300, I was able to, with the big cost, the steel. The steel I think is going to be about $250, so I spent somewhere around $500 plus my time. Let's say my time's worth even $25 an hour, which metal fabrication, all the different things that go into this cost you a lot more than $25 an hour to have somebody do that. But I've got probably 10 hours in that, so that's another $250 at $25 an hour, which was a very reasonable price for my skill set, if I do say so myself. I normally charge somewhere around $100 an hour for fabrication and stuff like that. And people pay it, so I must not be doing too bad. So let's say roughly all in, I got about $750 for this refurbishment. Now I've got a nice heavy duty 8.5 foot Hiniker. Everything on it is freshened up again. You can't buy a plow for that. I know, I've been looking. The main reason I redid this, I was planning on probably just selling this. All I did, put a new pump in it. That pump was like $80. So let's say under $1,000. You can't buy this plow for $1,000. So I was going to sell this, I'd be asking $2,500. And I've been looking for a new plow. I could finally afford to upgrade the newer plows, but I don't want to buy a brand new one, and everything in the middle is not that great for the price. I think this is in better shape than what's in the middle right now, and everything that's down by $1,000, $1,500. Those are 7.5 footers. I want a little wider plow. 6 inches doesn't matter probably unless it's your girlfriend. She'd really appreciate that. I know the wife wishes it was 6 inches. But yeah. Fair price, let's say about $1,000 to refurbish this plow. And I think I've added at least $1,500 on top of that worth of value to what this plow is worth. But it's in good shape. So, hope you enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe. See you on the next one.